And welcome to episode 48 of PixlFeed Radio, and I'm here with my guest, Daniela Garcia. Daniela, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And the way that we met is that you started your own platform. You're the CEO of PodBooking, which is exactly what I was looking for because I was running out of friends after I started the podcast. I'm like, okay, now I got to rethink this thing. Like, do I have to get a VA to reach out to people and find me guests? How am I going to do that? And then I started doing research and I found your platform and I love it. So
hey. Cool. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is. I mean, it's like right before we went on the air, it's like I was telling you, like, I can't even imagine how much work that took to put together. I imagine it's a lot easier nowadays with no code and, all the tools that we have. It's not like the days of when Facebook was made all on HTML, or just old school platforms. So I want to hear the whole story. But before we get into that and we talk about it, how did you get here? Were you always like a software nerd, computer geek, entrepreneur? Were you always in sales? Like, tell me the story. Like, what were you doing when you were? Did you work for corporate America at one point? How did you get here?
I still work for corporate America.
You do? All right, cool.
I do. So I am still in the corporate world, which isn't too bad. I technically work for corporate UK because the company is based in the UK. So they're actually a little bit more stuffy.
Of course,
but only in the best of ways.
But they have good humor, though. They're pretty sarcastic. Yeah, that's what I love about people from the UK. They have very sarcastic humor and dark comedy, and I love that. Like, I don't need a laugh track.
Oh, and they're so comfortable with like cursing and stuff, like even like in a professional setting. Whereas in the US, I feel like it's much more taboo.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. So how did you get? How did you get the idea? Like, what made you think of it, and what was the process like?
So I have kind of been on every end of the podcasting spectrum.
Okay,
I've had my own show. Like I've been a host myself and like been on the hunt for guests and been on the hunt for sponsors. But I've also been on the other side of being a brand looking for looking for podcasts to advertise on. Mm-hmm. And when I was doing that, I realized, hey, like, this is really hard, like, to find a podcast that fit the budget, fit the demographic, audience size, the niche, everything else. It was darn near impossible to find something that like fit everything. So the brand ended up just not buying advertising space on a podcast, ended up buying ad space on magazines instead. And that was like a missed opportunity for a podcaster somewhere that would have been perfect. Mm-hmm. Fast forward about a year and a half later, and I finished a book. I wrote my first ebook called aKind of a Big Deal. And it's just like a self-help kind of style book. But I was really trying to get on shows to promote it. And I was hit with that same obstacle of, man, this community is so disorganized. I can't find the shows that fit me, the shows that have the right audience, the right following, because like I don't have a huge following, so I can't be going after like, I can't get on Joe Rogan.
It's funny. Yeah. It's funny that you bring that up because like, I specialize in social media, but what people don't get, like it's like my parents, they think, oh, social media. So it's like, all he does is post all day. I'm like, no, I run ads and I make money. I put money in and I pull money out. Like, I don't have time. I'm not Gary Vee. I don't have a whole crew sitting behind my desk all day long, recording everything I say and everything I do. And even if they did, it'll be pretty fucking boring because all I do all day is get on a couple calls, right? On Zoom or the phone. And then the rest of the day, I'm pretty much an ads manager in emails. So there's nothing exciting about my job except for the results. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, everybody's like, I don't have the time to post content. Like, I don't feel like it. If I want something done, I'll just run ads to it and I get the results that I want anyway. Now where YouTube is growing, which is cool, but it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work to get a following going.
And to be a content creator, to be the brain behind a brand, all of that it's really hard work. And like people definitely underestimate it and don't realize it. And I kind of underestimated it when I first started doing it.
Yeah.
And now it's just like this thing where I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't have a weekend. That's content creation day. Are you kidding?
Me too. So, yeah.
It's just become that for me now, where it's every moment of my day is just plans. I have I don't know if you've heard of Passion Planner.
No, I
So like
haven't.
I'm all about the passion planner.
I'm all about the calendar. I talked about it on this channel before. It's like my Google Calendar.
Oh yeah.
That's what I follow all day. If it's not in my calendar, it's not getting done. Like I even tell my wife, if it's not in the calendar, it's not happening. Like she literally puts there, wake up with your son this morning. I'm like, okay, I know I got to wake up with him this morning. You know what I mean? It's just,
I understand.
because my life has become hectic. Between clients, my own stuff, it's just like, if I don't plan it out, I get way too disorganized and I get distracted by the dumbest things. And
me too.
I'm inside Facebook all day for work. So, I get a million notifications from people and friends because they know I'm in there all day. And I'm the type of person that if I see the notification, I get that dopamine rush that I have to answer right away, no matter how bad I fight it. So if I'm not structured by a calendar, it's a disaster. So yeah, I tell people it's like live by your calendar.
Yeah, 100%. And the passion planner breaks down the days by half-hour segments. Mm-hmm. So you're able to like plan out every day by the half hour. So, I mean, it's been a godsend because it keeps me on track at like my job, and then it keeps me on track with PodBooking, and then it keeps me on track with my personal life, and then it keeps me on track with all of the behind the scenes, because also people don't realize how much thinking goes into a business and like how much thinking goes into a brand. Like the amount of time that I have spent, I've spent most of my time above everything else on just the strategizing. Yeah. Like I spent hours and hours a week just strategizing. Mm-hmm. And people I don't think a lot of people really even realize that's like a part of the process, is like sit and think about your next step.
Yeah, like we just talked about it right before we came on too. And I just launched the first video on this channel for a new brand that I literally just launched last night. And that's why I'm so exhausted. I have like a full beard. I haven't done it. Thanks. And it's like, we've been working on it for 3 months, my partner and I, and it launched yesterday. And, no matter what you do, it's not perfect. Like we did the soft launch yesterday to like organic followers, and it went really well. But, we told them, it's like, let us know whatever you see is broken or not working, or, if something's misspelled, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And that was today. It's been all day just fixing bugs. You know what I mean? Just little things. It's just left and right. And it's like, and that's just a store. So that's why I'm like so curious how you built this thing, because that's how I found it. I was like, no one has created like a social network for like podcast people to come together. I'm like, I'll fucking build it. And then yours came up. I'm like, all right, of course somebody did it. But there was like 2. Yours, and I'm not going to mention the other one, and yours is much better. I can tell you that right now, because it's more, it's simpler, it's smooth. It reminds me of a lot of when Facebook started, just simple. The other one, again, I'm not going to mention the name. It's just too much. And it's like, dude, it's a pain in the ass to use. So,
it's so funny that you say that, because I just posted on the platform a few hours ago, I think yesterday, asking everybody like what they like, how they're enjoying it and things like that. And the most common response is, it's really simple. Thank you. I really like how simple it is.
I yell at my copywriters all the time. Like I scream at them, and they're like friends of mine. So I scream at them in a plain way.
Yeah.
Because they'll go in what I call Theosaurus kicks, where like they start using like, fancy words with the copywriting for like ads and funnels and, descriptions. And I'm like, no, dude, 5th grade level. Don't complicate it. 5th grade level. Imagine a 5th grader is trying to read this letter, and that's, don't complicate it. People, 100%. I don't know what it is about being online. It's like they overcomplicate things.
It sounds so smart, and it's like,
no, just dumb it down, man.
Understood. Like,
yeah, for sure. And that's what I like. It's just super simple. So, all right, so let's roll it back, because we got sidetracked there. So you had the idea, because I had the same problem that I have, and that's why I was like, at one point I was like, I'll build my own if I have to. But I came across yours, so I'm like, I don't have to do it. So I'll be more than happy to be your CMO. But so how did it start? How did the whole thing start?
Okay, so 11:50 p.m., July 29th, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed, and I'm thinking about how I just finished an interview for the podcast, promoting my book. And I'm like, man, I'm so glad that I was able to book that podcast. I have to make a plan to like book some more to promote my book. And I was like, and then I was sitting and I was like, man, I'm so glad that I was such a go-getter, and that like I'll go and put myself out there and talk to people. And I'm just thinking, I feel bad for the writers who aren't like me, because most writers are very introverted people, and podcasters as well. That's why the media.
I noticed that. I'm like, how are you such an introvert, dude? This is what you do for a living. Like, what? Yeah, I'm like, not at all.
They're actually really introverted. So being that outgoing person and networking and reaching out to people is really awkward for a lot of people involved in the podcasting world. And then on top of that, for the people who are more so on the industry side of things, so like media buyers, editors, networks, things like that, they're getting bombarded constantly on platforms like LinkedIn, and they're getting bombarded by things that are irrelevant. Whereas if they could go to a platform where it's like, no, every single person on this platform is relevant. You come here to find your next show, to find your next guest, to find your next sponsor, to find your next, whatever it is you're coming to PodBooking for. You have that very clear objective. And it's not like, oh, well, I go on LinkedIn and I do that and I connect with podcasters, sure, but I also connect with channel partners and I connect with colleagues and I connect with sales leads and, all these different things. And then with Facebook, you have these groups and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but I'm also bombarded by my cousin's firstborn and Christmas and political opinions, all these other things. And it was like, all these other platforms are just saturated by so much. And so, again, I'm laying in bed and I'm like, man, if only there was a place where it was just podcasting related, and it was just to get these things done. There should just be a place for that. And then I'm lying in bed. Yeah, there should be a place for that. Whoa! And then just light bulb. And right. I got up, I just sprung out of bed and I worked.
I've done that before, in the middle of bed. I just can't get an idea. I'm like, I can't wait till tomorrow. Jump out and go to my computer.
And I'm thinking a million people just had the exact same idea and I have to beat them to it. That's literally what I thought.
Right. So, but I mean, okay, so you had the idea, you get out of it. How do you execute? I mean, what tools did you use to create the platform? I mean, did you outsource a bunch of work to people? I mean, what was it built on? How complicated it was?
It was really simple. I looked into Whitelabeling and just had a white label social network set up and then just focused on integrations and just focused on.
I didn't even know you could do that. A white label social network. Are you serious?
Yes.
You couldn't imagine if Zuckerberg would have done a white label of Facebook. That is crazy. I didn't even know you could do that.
I didn't either. I had just learned about Vendasta.
Okay, I know Vendasta.
A few days before, because I work in channel partnerships for a technology company.
Right.
And so Vendasta was a potential partner of ours. So I learned about the concept of white labeling. And then I just was like, wait, okay, a social network. But there's a million social networks that must be something you can white label. There's no way that no one's done that because it's such a basic thing at this point. And I found a whole bunch of them. And I ended up even switching providers halfway through and stuff. And I love it. It's super simple. And all I focus on is my integrations, my partnerships. And I just focus on the branding and the marketing, but the bare bones of it, and the profiles being able to connect to each other and communication and algorithms and hashtags and all that stuff is already done. Yeah. And I can really focus on just making it more specific to podcasting.
That's amazing. I'm literally shocked right now that you could do that. I mean, I've heard of people selling themes for WordPress to imitate Facebook and stuff like that, but I never in a million years, and I'm in this world daily, but I'm more in the ad side of things. And but I keep up with it all. And I never saw it come across my desk or whatever that you could literally white label a whole freaking platform. I just
Googled it. Once I saw that it could be done, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm running with it. This is my idea. This is my thing. And I just ran with it, bought the domain, did the business license, did, all the things that I needed to do, registered everything I needed to register, got everything I needed to get. And
everybody who's listening, the name of the platform is podbooking.com. And again, it's pretty awesome. So, okay, so you get it up. How long did it take you to, tweak it and make it your own and get it up and running?
About 5-6 weeks.
Okay. So, all right. So since it's white label, so the platforms there, what do you have to tweak? You have to tweak the colors, I'm assuming, the way it looks.
Colors, branding. I had to add in all the groups. I've been creating a lot of content for it.
Oh, so you added all the groups. Not all the groups are user-generated content. Those were all added by you?
Those are all created by me.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and all of the admins have been personally invited by me to be the admins, and we're gonna start introducing our admins this week, and I'm really excited about it because it's gonna give them some more feature.
That's pretty cool.
Community. But yeah, it's all totally curated and run by PodBooking, which is me, which is, I think, great because I think everything very
Listen,
specific.
I'm shocked right now. I mean, I think this is amazing. I love this story. So, okay, cool. All right, so you did all of it. All right. So what's the plan? Obviously, you're already getting users. So
Yeah. We
let's
have
start with
110 users right now.
How many?
110.
110. Okay.
In 15 countries.
And you just launched too, so it hasn't been around for too long.
We
open.
technically we're just in beta. So
in
right
beta.
now, if you go to pod-booking.com, like it's just our wait list there.
Okay.
Our actual location is super secret.
That's okay. So how did you get? I didn't even know how I found it. I found it by accident. I think I was like Googling a bunch of stuff and I just came across it, and that's how I ended up in it. No, I got an email. I got an email from you somehow. I signed up for something and got an email from you. That's how I got it.
Okay.
So
yeah, Google Pod Booking. We're at the top. We're at the top of the page.
Okay. So that's probably why. So, all right. So people are joining. So what's your plan to grow the user base? What is it that you're doing right now? Because, okay, you have 100 and something users. So now that it's working, I'm assuming you were dealing with bugs. You flushed out most of the bugs. So now you got to concentrate on growing the platform because that's where the money's at, right? So what is it that you're doing to grow the platform?
So we're doing a lot of channel partnerships. So partnering with a lot of brands that already have notoriety in the industry overall. Like I can't say yet. I was about to say it because I feel so casual, but I realized I can't say yet.
Okay.
We do have some really big brand partnerships coming up. Oh, I can't say one. Wave. If you guys have heard of Wave, they are one of our like new affiliate partners. We'll be creating a lot of like branded content, and we'll be releasing a new segment of the platform called the PodBooking Academy. And the PodBooking Academy is going to be filled with nothing but resources. It's going to be a library of resources, premium content as well as free content. There's going to be full courses, webinars. I mean, you name it. It's going to be a really consistent flow of just really great podcasting. It's going to be imagine a YouTube specifically for podcasting.
That makes sense because the content will bring the people along. So
yeah.
So I always thought about this. If I always launch a platform, depending on the type of platform or an app, like who do I grow first? Do I grow the users or the providers? So in this case, what did you decide to go with? The actual podcasters first, right? Instead of guests.
I grew podcasters first, and then I started connecting with groups on Facebook that were for podcast guest connections.
Okay.
And just started getting guests that way because it was just significantly easier for me.
So when you rolled it out, did you roll it out nationwide or worldwide right away, or did you concentrate in a certain area first?
Worldwide.
I was gonna say you don't need to concentrate. It's not a local business, so you don't need to concentrate in an area.
Yeah, I just focused on my niche. I didn't focus on a location, and which is great because we've got 15 countries on it now, so we are a global network.
That's pretty awesome. So hold on, let me get this straight. So So you got the podcasters to come in from Facebook groups, just from interacting in Facebook groups? Is that what you said?
Facebook groups and Instagram. I've interacted a lot on Instagram. Our Instagram is definitely way more prominent than our Facebook.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. So now that you have that, you got to keep it growing. So you're going to keep doing that. You're going to have the partnerships, and you're going to create all that content. Are you going to do any type of marketing whatsoever, whether it's organic or paid or anything like that?
Yeah, we've got some press releases coming out in the next few weeks promoting, the launch, as well as some of those partnerships, as well as just like some updates around the app, like our app's coming in December. Mm-hmm. So we'll be doing some press releases around that. And then we're going to be doing mostly just those content partnerships where it's going to just be driving that organic traffic and just continue to connect with our followers. I've been doing a really good job with, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you're here. You made it here. Somehow.
The content side of things, I think I've been doing a really good job with like connecting with my audience. Mm-hmm. I feel like every post I give, even when it's about the business, it's still providing value. Yeah. And we've been growing at such a great rate. I mean, in just 12 weeks, we're at over 1,400 followers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and 1,400 followers that are 98% podcasters.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
so like no bots or anything. I've cleaned it out multiple times.
oh my God, I didn't even think about that. All the bots that are
Oh
trying
yeah,
to get in there.
I verify everything. Everything is super exclusive. So within 72 hours of somebody joining the network, I verify whether or not they're relevant to the network. And if they're not, they're deleted. Like,
that's pretty awesome. So you keeping them in check, man. You're like, no, you're good. You're cool. You're not.
yeah, exactly.
That's pretty awesome. So I'm pretty sure most people want to know the answer to this question. So I'm pretty sure, well, it depends. How are you planning on monetizing it? Because I mean, at the end of the day, the whole point is to make money at some point, right? So, I mean, if I had to guess, either you charge for premium content, you charge to run ads on the platform, or the data that you get from all these users.
Oh, I would never get involved with the data. I actually don't even ask my users for their first names or their birthdays or anything like. The only information that I know about my users is the name of their show, links to their show and their socials, and their email addresses. And I don't sell any of that. I would never, ever, ever do that. And that's like a promise that I've made to our members. It's one of our network initiatives, is that we will always respect our users' privacy. I've even encrypted it. So like, I can't see your guys' messages. I can't see any of your guys' behavior other than the public behavior on the platform. Me, myself, like the actual person behind the scenes.
That's what actually Facebook's done to this day. Like, people still have this misconception that, you know, that we can see all your information and stuff like that. And that's not the way it works. Like, when I go on the back end to run an ad, I'm looking at interest. I'm looking at behavioral data. It doesn't say Christian likes this or Christian likes that. It's just a pool of people that I can't see. I mean, back in the day, yeah, they got in a lot of trouble for people like, you know, hooking up to the API and like pulling the data when they were not supposed to. And they're admitted that it wasn't. I mean, you know, they've been learning as they go. Now it's a behemoth. It's its own freaking country at this point. So
seriously,
you know, I don't feel bad for them in any way, shape, or form, because Lord Zuck knows what he's doing. But at the same time, they have fixed it, but they still have that bad rep. Like, oh, they're selling my data. I'm like, no, they're not, dude. You want to see ads related to stuff that you like, then, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, if you take it away, then you're going to get random ads that don't even match you. So do you rather see an ad for like a pair of shoes that you would like, or do you rather see an ad for like an oil change that has nothing to do with you? You know, that's
true.
I mean, that's how it works.
So for me, it's just going to be advertising and then premium content. And with the advertising, it's just a matter of its relevance to podcasting. And that's what it comes down to. So I've kind of narrowed down the list of companies that I can work with, but I've also found I'm also connecting with their entire audience. So I think I'll be able to get enough. I think it'll be enough. It'll sustain it. We'll keep the servers on.
But see, that brings the question. So what happens if you keep growing this thing, which I don't doubt you will. I think you will, and I think you're going to do great. I mean, I really like it. I'm not saying that because you're here. I really do. So what do you do though if that VC firm shows up one day and just like, here's a check for X millions. I need you to grow this, but we need to monetize the data. Like, you hit that crossroad, you're going to say no? No.
I've already said no to investors as it is.
So. You have? That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I have no intention of it ever getting... I have no intention of it ever being an evil thing in the world. Like, it's very important to me.
Well, no one's saying to make it evil, but like to use the data for like advertising purposes inside the platform for people to run ads.
No.
I mean, I love that you're sticking to it. I love that you're sticking to it. I love it. I was just wondering.
It's just not something that is necessary, I guess. And like, it's way more important to me that PodBooking is something that I'm very proud of owning versus it being something that makes a bunch of other people really wealthy. Like, it's going to be more than enough to keep me very comfortable. And it's going to be more than enough to continue to fulfill me as an artist and as a business person and just as a human on this planet. Like, I'll continue to be incredibly fulfilled from it. So I'm good with getting to the point where I can just dedicate myself to it fully and be, you know,
that's what it's all about.
In technology.
That's what it's all about. Do what makes you happy, right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I don't want to be like, I don't know. I feel like it's disrespectful, like, to people's privacy. I'm very big on privacy and respecting people's privacy. And like, I hate that my privacy gets infringed on. So like, I wouldn't do it to somebody else.
Oh, I do too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's the golden rule. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, no, I get it. No, but I like the fact that you think that way, because a lot of people, they want to, you know, and then being in this business, I'm sure you heard it at the same time. Oh man, just build it and exit at X and whatever, and then build the next
and then
one.
Sell it for this amount. And it's like, no, what? No, I'm building an empire. This is my baby.
I tell people all the time, it's like, I used to think that way too when I was trying to build everything, but it gets to a point where your bills are paying. It's like, that's it, man. I mean, unless you want to buy like 3 yachts, it's like, no, it doesn't bring you happiness. It really doesn't.
No.
I think what brings you happiness is like knowing that your bills are paid and you get to wake up every day and do what you love, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, honestly, just the waking up every morning and doing what you love part is like it for me. I love waking up to compliments to the platform. I love waking up to people thanking me for making it. I love waking up to people, to the news of like new beta casters having an episode come out together. Like, oh God, it's the greatest feeling.
I know. I get excited when I see messages from the haters. I'm like, you're watching my stuff. This is awesome.
Oh I love seeing like frenemies from like high school pop up on the stories.
yes. That's the good part about it.
It feeds me.
All right, that's awesome. All right. We're out of time. We've been going for a while now. Freaking half an hour already. I can't even believe it, man.
Wow, that's surprising.
I know. Thank you so much for coming on. Again, I love the platform. I haven't been there, I think, in days because I've been so busy with this whole thing I've been doing. But I love it. Anybody who's thinking about starting a podcast or has a podcast or wants to be guest on different podcasts to get their word out there, whether it's about their store, their book, whatever it is, I'm telling you guys, it's really, really cool. Super duper simple to use. I mean, you got her right here. Your data's not going to get stolen. She's going to keep it super simple. She's going to stick to that word. Daniela, thank you very much. Where can people find you? So I can put the links in the description as well.
Yes. So join the waitlist to get on the email list to get more information around joining once we launch November 1st at pod-booking.com. Or you can just join November 1st at pod-booking.com. You can also go and find PodBooking on Instagram or Booking Pod on Twitter because Twitter hates me.
Why does Twitter hate you?
I don't know. They just wouldn't give me pod booking. They just wouldn't do it.
That's funny.
It was so annoying.
That is hilarious.
So booking pod.
yeah. I hate it when that happens. So we got Twitter, Instagram, email list, and the site, right?
Pod-booking.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I look forward to having you again in a while when it grows out of control. I can't wait to. It's going to grow out of control. I know, and I wish you the best.
No, the wait list is at over 1,400 people now. We've got 110 betas, but the wait list is huge. So like people are it's gonna be a great first day.
And I'm one of the OGs. I love it. I get to see it from what it is now to whatever it becomes. I'm so excited. All right. Thank you so much. We got to cut off. For those of you watching on YouTube, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to the podcast, make sure to subscribe as well. Thank you so much. And all links on the description. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Bye.